Hello guys, welcome to another video. Today we're changing the brake pads and rotors, all four of them on my car. Now I'll be showing you guys how to do it on the back rotors. Yesterday I did the front, came out pretty nice. We're putting on aftermarket vented brake rotors, and we're putting semi-metallic brake pads. So before I start, just to mention that my fronts are bigger than my rears, so by that I mean the rotors are way bigger in the front than they are in the rear. So are the brake pads themselves. I'll show you a side-by-side comparison later. Alright, for this project, first I want to make sure that you guys all have gloves. You need anti-seize to put between the threads. You're gonna want brake cleaner, WD-40 for some bolts that are a bit trickier. You're gonna want grease, filers, metal filers. You're gonna want a half-inch. What the fuck is the word? You're gonna want a half-inch socket. I think this is an 1/8. What the fuck is this? You're gonna want a 3/8 socket, and for these three, just get a whole set, because I don't know exactly what you need in particular. So it's good to have a whole set so you have a wide variety of tools at your disposal. You're gonna want a set of attachable pieces to go with your drives, both for the half-inch and the 3/8 drives. Okay, you're gonna want an Allen key set. You're gonna need a brake separator, a screwdriver, a mallet, rubber. Mallet is preferred. If you have a steel one and that's all you have, then sure. The brake rotor itself and the pads. And on the floor, you're gonna want something for your knees, to put your knees on, and something to catch all the debris. Now this is of yesterday, and I just want to show you guys how bad they were. Look how thin they are. Yeah, that's from yesterday. I only told myself I really need to do this because these fell apart from this, and I found this in my driveway. So I told myself I think it's time to change the brakes. So that's what I'm doing. Before we start anything at all today, I want to show you guys the difference between the old rotors and the new ones. Look how corroded and rusty and disgusting these things are, and look how brand new and awesome these look. So we're gonna be switching these out today along with new brake pads. So yeah, let's get to it. Another thing that is actually gonna be needed that I forgot about, and I don't know how, is a drill with like a wire brush attached to the end, and just to help you take off the tires, a half-inch drill, and as well as the jack itself and the jack stands. First things first, I want to take out the tire, jack it up, put on jack stands. Now that the wheel is off, the first thing we're going to want to do is remove this piece right here. So literally all we have to do is just, okay, there you go. So that's out, but don't break it because we're gonna have to reuse this piece, guys. Put that aside, and now the next step that we're gonna want to do is, there are two bolts in the back. Let me see if you could see here. There is this one right here with like a little cap, so you take off the cap like that, and there's one at the bottom which is the exact same thing. You just take off the cap. Inside there are bolts, and we're gonna take those off. So we're gonna use this to take off that screw in the back. Now, a tip I want to share with you guys is, you see that, wait, hold on, let it focus in there. Take a screw driver, flathead preferably, and kind of like push that out. And if you continue enough, you should see that there becomes to be a gap, and then you just push that screw out, and then you just pull it out. Very slimy, very greasy. This you're just gonna want to put aside because you're gonna need to reuse this piece. Okay, so put that aside somewhere that it won't get dirty, and then we're gonna re-grease this later when we're putting it back. And this is the first one. There's a second one right under, like I showed you before. Do the same thing to the bottom. Now with these two screws taken out, we can start to remove the brake caliper, which is this piece right here. Now the brake caliper is out, we're gonna want to use like some sort of a wire or whatever to hold the brake caliper up so it doesn't like strain on the brake lines. In this case, I'll just like make it sit on something in the back. There's some sort of like axles or whatever. In the front, I would have needed to make it like hang on to, like wrap it around it and make it hang on to a spring. In this case, being in the back rotors, I'll just make it sit on something. But now that these are out, you could literally just pop these out. As well as the top piece. If it comes out, now what I like to do with my rubber mallet is just tap all along here and loosen up eventually this hole, this bolt, along with the two next things that I need to take out, and they're literally just 16 mil bolts. So one here and this one here. So these are the next things that I'm going to need to take out, the 16 mil. After I knock this a bit, now we can take out the bolts that hold this on, and then next up is taking this out so we can move the rotor and then replace it. Alright, now with the two bolts out, you literally just pull this off, and the next thing we're gonna do is we're gonna want to file down in between here on the sides right here. That's all we're gonna want to do. We're gonna want to basically erase all the brake dust that was created over the years and take it out with a filer just really quickly, just to clean it up. I'm a bit OCD, so that's what we're gonna do. Next up, we're gonna want to remove this bolt. Now that those are all done, I'm gonna want to take the appropriate Allen key. Now this one fits snugly in here, and I'm gonna want to basically turn this out, and then this will let me take off the rotor and replace it, and I'll show you what to do next. Okay, so in my case, this bolt right here was very stuck. So what I did is I took a hammer and I hit right here so that this Allen key would get stuck in here, and it would make its place. Okay, so once I did that, I used a socket. This is all what you do if you don't have all the tools at your disposal. I use a socket, and I basically just made it help me turn this, and well, it did the trick. And I was able to take out this little screw. Can literally make this job a make it or break it job. If you are not able to take this screw out, the whole job goes to shit. And if you can't, well, you're gonna have to go to a garage, pay them like 30 bucks or whatever just to take that out. So this, now I'm gonna want to put this aside with all my other tools. And as for this goes, we're gonna want to take our little bucket here, and again, just knock the rotor off. It should just come off easily. If with a rubber mallet it doesn't want to come off, I suggest going to a steel mallet. Alright, so after a lot of repeated beating with this mallet, this thing finally fucking came out. So we're gonna throw that in the shit pile. And finally we're left with this. Now, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna clean this up with a wire brush and the drill, and basically after that I'm gonna apply grease between each hole, and then I'm gonna put the new rotor in and move on from there. Before we put this bolt back onto the rotor, however, I want to put a little bit of anti-seize just at the tip of the bolt, just so that next time it'll be a lot easier to take the bolt out. And now we're just gonna put this back in right in its hole right there. Now tighten that down, then apply grease right here. Then after you're done applying grease, it's like essential because you don't want any grease or anything on there, or else it's gonna it's actually gonna make it'll defeat the purpose of having even brakes, because the grease is just gonna make the brake pads slip all over the place. So tighten that down, put grease, and then clean this off with brake clean. Alright, so now that's all cleaned up with brake clean, and there's the grease added. I'm gonna take my 3/8 socket with a 16mm adapter. I'm gonna put back this plate, or whatever you want to call it. Here I added some thread locker to the threads of the bolt so that these will come out easier, because they didn't come out too easy. So I'm gonna put all that back up and then I'll show you guys. One last thing before I bolt everything up, I want to make sure so that it looks aesthetically pleasing. I want to make sure all these designs match up with the front. This one was the wrong one. I have the right one here. See how it goes the opposite way as to this one? I'm gonna need to put this one on so it matches up with the front ones that I put in, so that the same sides, those ones right there, so that the driver's side, both of them are facing the same way, so it doesn't look weird. So I'm just gonna switch them out, and then I'm gonna put grease, like I said, and then brake clean. Okay, so for this next part, we're gonna have to put back the brake pads. Now the ones with the clips are gonna be going in the back, and the ones that are like this are gonna be going in the front. So let's say this is the front one. It's gonna be basically mounting like this. Okay. Now before we do that, we're gonna have to take the brake caliper that I put up here. We're gonna have to take this, and inside we're gonna have to separate the piece using this. You basically put this up like this, and you just turn this clockwise, and it should separate this side right here from you see that round orangey circle there, the rusty circle. Basically I just need the space so I could put back new brake pads and then be able to put it back on the rotor. Okay, and that's maxed out, so take that out. Now we're gonna want to put our new pieces. So this one in the back goes inside here. There we go. So that's one, that's the back. Now this is the front. We're gonna put it on like this, and now we're just gonna put everything back on. Alright, perfect. So that's on. Now we're gonna have to put back the two bolts in the back. Alright, so these bolts, we took them out earlier. So before putting them back on, I want to put grease here and thread locker at the tips on the threads, and then put it back on with the 3/8 driver and this tool here. We're gonna put that back up together, and then we're gonna have to put that piece we took out earlier back, and then we're done. Okay, so now that I have added grease at the top, thread lock at the bottom, before I did that, I just used some sandpaper and wrapped it around this thread here, well, this piece, whatever here, and I just used it to clean off any brake dust that might have piled on over the years. But now that they're clean and everything is added on them, I'm gonna put these back in the car with my 3/8, like I said, with the bit that I needed. Let me focus here. Right there, with that bit right there. Now I'm gonna put this back in the car, and we should be good. Now that we've fully put back the brake pads and the caliper mounted, we want to just close up the holes that we opened up in the back. So these are the old ones. You usually could just like replace these ones, put them back in, but I got myself a new pair. Actually, I got myself a whole new kit with when I bought my rotors and brake pads. So I'm gonna put these in the back right here, and literally just close them. They're just for the brake dust, so that no brake dust goes inside. Now I'm trying to find, where is it? Right there. Oh, yeah. Now let me just put this one back in too. Close it up. Now the last piece is this. This is gonna go back on right in here. So these grooves will have to go in the holes, and these outside pieces will be going on the outside like this on both sides, right down there. Okay, so this won't really fit properly the first time, so you're gonna want to use like a screwdriver or whatever and force it into place. So you're gonna want to use a screwdriver right here and just push this middle piece in so that these clips could go in. Alright, now that this is on, one last thing, you want to go inside the car and press the brakes repeatedly so that the brake pads could get closer together and be on the rotor. After pressing the brakes in the car, guys, you are done. Before you want to put your tire back on, some of us might want to clean inside here, like to get rid of all the brake dust, and now that it's off the tire, clean that up if you want. If not, this is how you do it. This is how you change your brake pads and rotors. Alright, so if you guys have made it this far in the video, I'd like to thank you. Look at my beautiful job. They just look great. I'm digging this red brake pad right here. Anyways, that's that for today's video. Now, if this video was at all useful, helpful, you liked it, give it a thumbs up. If you want to see more things that I do, check out this video right here, and this one right here, and this one right here. And if you like all of this stuff, subscribe right here. So with that being said, I'd like to thank you guys, and I will catch you guys in the next one. Peace out.